Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where today we've got something really rather lovely for you. This puzzle on the screen is called Diamonds, probably for obvious reasons, and it's by the great Ard van de Wetering from the Netherlands. Now, the reason I'm smiling is that the biggest video we've ever made on Cracking the Cryptic, which has had something like 8 or 9 million views, was a puzzle by Ard that featured a magic square in the centre, and this puzzle sort of resurrects that idea. This grey cell, or this grey square in the middle of our Sudoku, needs to be a magic square in the final grid. And Mark's tested this and he said it's a really lovely puzzle. So as usual with Ard, we should be in for quite a treat. And speaking of treats, let's get straight to it. Yesterday I did a puzzle by Zegres, which was a marble run puzzle, and I asked whether any of you would have the programming skills to be able to create a sort of animation of how the marble would move through the grid. We have had so many responses from this. I'm going to show you one of them in a minute, but I want to shout out some of you who've done amazing things. So Claude Petrie, Hannah Bockenfield, Graham Watson, David Hruska, David Berardo, and I think David Berardo's was the funniest one. I've put that on Twitter. Martin Vivian. Martin, I'd like to have shown yours as well, but I saw it was on your YouTube channel. We worry massively about getting copyright strikes, but you can go and see Martin's version if you look at the Discord server. And then the winning version was Chris Dose, who basically altered the code in the software. And then I showed this to Sven, our programmer, this morning, and Sven has further altered the code and produced this, which I will now play for you. Hopefully it will work. So now look, you can draw your marble run into a grid. And I don't know how Sven's done this. I don't know how Chris did it. I mean, Chris did it overnight. Look, and you can use the mouse to make the grid tilt. And that, look, as the grid tilts backwards and forwards, the marbles fall as they should do with gravity. Isn't this incredible? This is a whole new genre of Sudoku being born here. I tell you that. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, we love that anyway. Oh, the other thing that's on Discord at the moment that I love anyway is the Cracking the Cryptic unofficial theme song by Hilarious Happyster. It's to the Perry Como tune of Hot Diggity, and it's all about how, you know, normally the next digit is where my cursor is, and if you're a fan of the channel you will know why that's funny. But it's got some great piano playing, some great lyrics, and I thought some perfectly good singing as well, although Hilarious Happyster was worried about the singing. You don't think you needed to worry, my friend, and we did find it very amusing. The only other things to mention before we have a go at the puzzle though are the Kickstarter. That's only got a week to go basically, so if you want to get Cracking the Cryptic's greatest hits, please join the Kickstarter. I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen. Over on Patreon, Mark has asked me to try a puzzle for our patrons. It's called Masyudoku, and it's by Mr. Menace. And you may say, well, why are we trying it on Patreon? Well, the reason is it is a hybrid puzzle of Masyu, which is a Japanese logic problem, and Sudoku. And Masyu is a very intricate logic puzzle, and we weren't sure whether you would like it on the main channel, so I'm going to try that hopefully later on today if I get a chance, because apparently it is brilliant, but you have to be very au fait with the rules of Masyu, which hopefully I am, although it is a while since I've done one. But anyway, that's going to be available for our patrons only if I can do it though, so hopefully I'll be able to. The other thing, of course, is that more of you have managed to solve the Hercules Sudoku hunt over on Patreon, so very well done to Chezik, to Fabian Schulze, Jose Cusco, Jens Pankoke, I think, Kapateki, Matthias Rang, Callum Mailer, Nina Schwind, Monica Rees, Mike Smith, Jake Rowland, Scott Wigington, Tyler Hinman, gosh, the great crossword solver Tyler Hinman, Inconsistent Heraclitus or something, Heraclitus. Don't know about the pronunciation of that one. Stephen Lipp, Rachel Nordgren, Marnie Separovich, Ryan Walker, Morgan Piper, and Claude Petrie, who did one of the animations. So well done, Claude. You got the 12 Labours Hunt correct as well. And then I've got a couple of announcements as well. I'm going to say congratulations to Dr. Brian Green. Now, I'm slightly nervous about doing this. I know, Brian, that you're a brilliant scientist and apparently a wonderful human being, and you've just defended your dissertation today in meteorology. But the message we got from your friend Emily basically said that it is 100% certain that you will defend your dissertation. Such is your mastery of the subject. So I hope I'm right in being able to congratulate you. And I also want to wish your wife, Eliza, good luck as well. In completing her dissertation shortly as well and becoming a PhD. So to the pair of you, fantastic. And also Sophie, you've turned 26 today. We loved your email. I'm not sure how long this video will be, so I'm not sure if it's going to be one of your favourite kinds of videos, which I gather are the enormously long ones, but we shall see. Let's read the rules of Diamonds by Ard, and this is what we've got to do. Normal Sudoku rules apply. The central 3x3 box in grey is a magic square, i.e. each row, column and 3-cell diagonal must add to the same sum. So we've got to fill this grey box so that whatever these add up to is the same as whatever those add up to is the same as whatever those add up to, etc., etc. Then it says, on each coloured diamond there are a maximum of 3 different digits. No digits need to be placed on the yellow diamond outside the grid. Okay, so these sort of points of the yellow diamond which sit outside the grid, we don't have to fill them in. So we just have to make sure that along the yellow diamond, well, along each of the diamonds individually, those cells there, we can only put a maximum of 3 different digits in them. These cells here, we can only put a maximum of 3 different digits on them. Or we actually might get some digits, look, on the green, and the same on the blue diamond as well. So do have a go. Ard's puzzles are an absolute joy, trust me. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And I'm going to start with the magic square, because over the years since we did that original video, I think the thinking on how to explain magic squares, or how many times I've done it, I don't know, but my thinking, I should be quite good at explaining this now. And it all comes down to the secret, doesn't it? And the secret is something I only tell my very favourite people. But if you're watching this video, of course you're in that set. And the secret is that any complete box of a Sudoku sums to 45, and that's because it contains the digits 1 to 9 once each, and if you add up the digits 1 to 9 you get 45. So if we know that this box overall sums to 45, but we know that those 3 cells must add to the same as those 3 cells must add to the same as those 3 cells, then let's imagine this string of digits here adds up to x. We can say that the 45 is equal to 3 lots of x, because each row of the magic square must add to the same total. Now if 3x equals 45, x equals 15. So now all of a sudden we know that we need to make each of our rows, columns and diagonals in this box sum to 15. And the next trick you can do with the magic square is to deduce the value of the central cell, which is going to be a 5. I can tell you that because I've done it before, not because I'm clever. But how do we prove that the central cell is a 5? Well, there is a very elegant proof. I think I first saw this from Sam Kappelman Lines, and it was very beautiful, so I'm going to share it with you now. So let's draw some lines in this box. I'm going to draw a purple line there. I'm going to draw a red line here, I'm going to draw a green line here, and I'm going to draw a blue line there. Now you can see those 4 lines I've just drawn, which we know each individually sum to 15, cover every cell of this box. Now we know every cell of this box sums to 45, but the eagle-eyed amongst you will say, but hang on, that central cell has been included lots of times in these sums, and that's exactly right. It's been included 4 times because it's on each of the lines once. So mathematically, what we can say is, if we just include the central cell once, we can say that 45, which is the sum of each of the digits, plus 3 more lots of this central cell, because it's on 3 other lines apart from the line we've included in the 45 sum, is equal to 4 lots of 15. Now 4 lots of 15 is 60. So if 45 plus 3 lots of this central cell are equal to 60, 3 lots of the central cell are equal to 15, and therefore the central cell is, yep, you've guessed it, it's equal to 5. So we can write 5 in here, and look, we're going to immediately get this digit, because now this cell here, to make the maths work, we know that each row, column and diagonal in this box adds to 15, so that's got to be a 1. Right, and now we can do those 2 digits. Well, at least we can say something about them, because they must add up to 14 without using a 9. So those 2 digits have got to be 6 and 8. And these 2 digits have got to add up to 6 without using a 1, so they've got to be 2 and 4, because you can't put double 3 into those. And then, okay, well then I can just write 3 into this box by Sudoku, because that 3 doesn't seem to be able to go anywhere apart from here. You can, by the way, prove that the corners of a magic square are even, but we don't seem to have needed to do it today. What have we got here then? We've got 3 plus 7 is 8, so that's got to be a 7. Okay, well I can't put the 8 with the 7, because that would already add up to 15, and that would have to be a 0. So that's got to be a 6, that's got to be a 2, that's got to be a 4, and that's got to be an 8. Now let me just stare at this for a moment to check that it adds up. 15, 2 plus 5 plus 8 is 15, 4, 5 and 6 are 15, 6, 1, 8. Yeah, I think it looks good. So look, we've just been able to fill basically the grey box in without doing anything terribly clever. Now 3s have got to be up there by our old friend Sudoku, 1s have got to be over here by our old friend Sudoku, 7s have got to be down here by our old friend Sudoku, and 4 is a little bit restricted. I'm going to actually pencil mark that 4 in, because I'm not seeing very many things that we're going to be able to do Sudoku-wise here. So we must now have to think about diamonds, and what do they mean? And the only thing I'm seeing with the diamonds is that I've got a 1 and a 3 on the green diamond. Yeah, okay, so these 3 digits here, whatever they are, because the green diamond can't have more than 3 different digits on it, these 3 cells must appear, they must be the same digits as those cells. They must be the same digits as those. I see what this is doing. I see what you've done here, Ard. So look in this box now. I know that these digits include a 1 and a 3. Oh, and I've just seen, I don't know where my pencil mark 3 went. I had a pencil mark 3 here. But anyway, you can see now the only place the 3 can go in this box by Sudoku is going to be at the tip. So this must be a 3. And the 1, yeah, this is better. And the 1 has to be in green, so that's got to be there. There's now a 4 on the blue line, and that's the same logic. I'm not sure whether I'm immediately meant to move here. I sort of want to look at 1s and 3s a bit more carefully, but the fact I'm seeing a 4 on a blue line, and those 3 digits, look, whatever they are the blue digits. They are the digits we're going to have to pencil mark into all the blue cells. So there now must be a 4. It must be a 4 here in box 6, because that can't be a 4, and that can't be a 4 by Sudoku, so that's a 4. There must be a 4 there in box 4. There must be a 4 in one of those two cells in the other, in box 8 on the blue line. And for our next trick, maybe we go back to 1s and 3s. Okay, I've got nothing better immediately than doing that, so I might have to do that. So that digit, look, we don't know what that digit is. That could be the same as that digit. We don't... Well, there's some things we know this digit isn't. We know it's nothing in this column and we know it's not 7. Anyway, let's have a look at this. So 1 and 3. So there's got to be a 1 in one of those, a 3 in one of these because of this 3 in the middle. And in this box, that could be anything, I think. Right, so 1 is in one of these two, 3 is in one of those two. Okay. So what on earth do we do now? We must... I haven't got a clue, actually. I have not got a clue. Is it something Sudoku-wise? Oh, yeah, I suppose it might be. That digit... Oh, yes, it is. It is. Look. This digit, by Sudoku, is 2, 4, 6, or 8. I'm just going to put that in. That is the final green digit. In other words, it's the same as that cell. Now look, 4 and 8, look at that cell. So in fact, because these two digits are the same, I don't know whether it's worth recording that. Those two digits have to be the same. And this one, therefore, cannot be 4 or 8. So that one is 2 or 6. Yeah, okay, and that makes sense, look, because that digit appears in those two positions. So whatever this is, it goes over here. Right. So the green digits now are from 1, 2, 3 and 6, wherever they appear. So that might be worth pencil marking, he says, in the absence of anything else good to do. Am I going to pencil mark 1s, 2s, 3s and 6s into every green cell, or can we do anything clever? It looks... hang on a second. I've got 1 and 6 here. So those two squares can't be 1 or 6. Right, okay. So I'm not going to pencil mark everything now because I might not need to. These two squares have got to be a digit that's capable of being on a green diamond. Now we know that the grid digits capable of being on green diamonds are now from 1, 2, 3 and 6, but these don't seem to be able to be 1 or 6. So the only things those can be is 2 and 3. And that means that there's a 2 on a green line, because one of these is a 2. That's peculiar, but it's true. One of those is a 2. So does that... So that can't be a... Yeah, that can't be a 6. That's really lovely. Okay, so this can't be a 6, because if it was a 6, there would be 4 digits on green lines. There would be a 1, a 6, a 3, and whichever one of these is a 2. So that has to be a 2. Now, so these are both 2. The green digits are 1, 2, and 3, which might be worth pencil marking, actually. Let's put the digits we've not filled in on green lines. 1s, 2s, and 3s, and let's see what we can get rid of. We can get rid of 2. Right, we've now got a 1, 3 pair in row 4. I've got a 1, 2 pair in row 5. And in the central columns, I've got everything. Okay, but this column, it looks very full now, doesn't it? So 4, 6, and 8 into these squares. Although I'm very conscious of the fact that absent this 4 and this 7, we literally know almost nothing about these cells, do we? So in terms of getting some communication to knock out options for these positions, that doesn't feel possible. Oh, I see, but I can get rid of 4 from here, because 4 must be on the blue line. So this is down to 6 or 8. Okay. Right, so maybe it's this row now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 into those squares. 6, 8, and 9. So whatever this is has to appear on the blue line in each of the other boxes. But there's no communication between this cell. You know, if I put this cell in, I can't tell in which of these 3 cells it goes. This is getting strange now. What's going on with the yellow line? Yeah, okay, 7 must be a yellow line digit. Is that true? Or 7, or maybe it's that 7 can be a yellow line digit. It doesn't have to be a yellow line digit. Yeah. Okay, let me think about this. I've got 3 blue digits here, whatever they are, 3 green digits here, and these 2 digits, which are not 7, which are yellow digits. So whatever those 2 digits are, they are eligible to go on the yellow line. Oh, but right. That digit can't be a 7. Because if that digit's a 7, I've got 4 digits definitely on blue. Yeah, look at that. If that's a 7, then in this box, I've got 3 different digits that are not 7 that are on blue lines, and I've got a 4th digit there, so that's wrong. So that's just not 7, which means 7 gets placed in the bottom of the grid, and now 7 is on the yellow line. Right, so now the bit of the rules that said on each coloured diamond there are a maximum of 3 different digits, it could actually have said on each coloured diamond there are exactly 3 different digits. Because these 2 digits are not 7 and they're on a yellow line, all 9 digits are on diamonds now, is what I think we've just proved. So if in doubt, look where the cursor is. Because that digit is a yellow digit, isn't it? I say that because it can't be a blue digit and it can't be a green digit, and I've just proved that every digit is on a diamond, so that's a yellow digit. Now, admittedly, that's not very helpful because I don't know where it goes. Well, I know it doesn't go in those 2 cells. I suppose it must go in one of those cells then. Because these 2 are whatever the yellow digits are that are not 7. And that's one of them, because there's a 7 in the row. Ah, yes, okay, so maybe that's how we think about it. So that digit's the same. Yes, this digit is exactly the same. It's not 7. And it's not on the blue line, it's not on the green line. So that digit, right, so somehow we need to transpose these 2 digits, which are different numbers, into those 2 cells, because these are the same as those digits. Right. But that means that 5 is not yes, okay, so 5 is not yellow. Sorry, and this has probably been totally obvious to you guys for a while, but 5 cannot be yellow now. Because if we look at this row, we've identified the yellow digits already. We know 7 is yellow. We know that these 2 are yellow. That's all 3 of the yellow digits. So everything else in this row is either blue or green, but we know green is 1, 2, or 3. So that must be, you've guessed it, blue. That's a blue digit. And that means we've got to put it in one of those 2 squares, because it's got to go on blue. Oh, this is blue. That one, no, not only is it blue, I meant to say it's 5, because that one can't be 5, and there must be a 5 on every blue, in every blue box. Or no, you know what I mean. There's got to be, because there's always 3 blue digits in each box. We must put now 5 in one of the blue cells, and the only one that can have the 5 in it is that one, which means that's a 5. It means there's a 5 in one of those 2 squares. So it's a very interesting puzzle, this. I have a horrible feeling I'm making a meal of it by not quite seeing it the right way, but I'm steadily making a bit of progress. Right, so what does that mean? So I've got my 3 yellow digits. I've got 5 as a blue digit. But that's a yellow digit. Oh, I see. Right. Now I'm going to look at this column and count my yellow digits, I think. No, well, first I'm going to count my blue digits. Now my blue digits in this column are the ones on the blue lines and the 5. They are all definitively blue digits, by definition. Now 1, 2 and 3 we know are green digits, so 9 is a yellow digit. Now if 9 is a yellow digit, well actually 9 is a yellow digit and that's a yellow digit. Oh yeah, this is good. This is good, right, because in this box I've just worked out 9 as a yellow digit, but this is not 9 and that's not that. Well, the 7 is not 9. That's a bit of a knowledge bomb for you from cracking the cryptic. And there are 3 yellow digits, so the only one available to go into that cell is 9. Now, does that mean that's 9? Yes, it does mean that's 9, because it's not 7. Yeah, in this box, the 3 yellow digits, one of which is this one, so the other 2 digits have to go on the line, and we know one of the other 2 digits is a 9, so that's got to be there. This has got to be this colour, which is 6 or 8. Oh, and it's not 6. Right, that's lovely. So that's 8, which means that's 8. So the 3 yellow digits now are 7, 8 and 9. Oh. Okay. All right. So we're being played with a bit here by art, because we've now discovered that the 3 digits on the green line are 1, 2 and 3. The 3 digits on the blue line are 4, 5 and 6, and the 3 digits on the yellow line are 7, 8 and 9. So that's quite that was quite guessable from the very beginning. All right, that's got to be a 6 by that logic. That's got to be a 6 by that logic. These squares, well, that's not 6. That's not 6. These are 7, 8. Yellow is 7, 8 or 9, just wherever we see it. Let's just put all of the 7s, 8s and 9s in the grid, and then we'll stare at them in a moment. This is not an 8, that's for sure. These are 4s, 5s and 6s. So in this column, that's a 5 or a 6, that's a 5 or a 6. In this column, that's a 4 or a 5, that's a 4 or a 5. That's not an 8. Okay, so we've got... Oh, alright. This 7 knocks 7 out of both of those squares. So this is an 8. This is an 8-9 pair now in column 3. So that becomes a 7, knocking 7 out of this square and this square. And 8 gets knocked out of this square, so that becomes a 9. That becomes an 8. That becomes a 9. Come on, let's see if this goes now. That's got to be a 7 by Sudoku. That's got to be a 9 now. It sees 7 and 8. So this one is not 9. This seems to be an 8-9 pair, so that must be a 7 in fact, knocking 7 out of those cells. And pregnant pause while I try and work something out here. 9 interferes with this cell, so that's got to be an 8, which means that's got to be a 9, that's got to be an 8. I've got 4 8s looking at box 7, so I get an 8 in the corner. And these two squares are now a 7-9 pair, which we can resolve using the given 9. So that's 7, that's 9, that's 7 by Sudoku, so that's 8 by Sudoku. I've got loads of 8s in the grid, and now I've got 9 8s, which is perfect. Let's see how many 9s I've got. Lots. I can get another 9 here, and that's 9 9 7s. I've got all the 7s, didn't realise it, but I've got them all. And therefore, we should think about other digits now. Which digits do we want to look at? Maybe 1s? No. Maybe 2s? Not really. Maybe, no. 3s? Maybe? No. 1s, 2s and 3s, we haven't got anything outside of the central columns. 4s? 4 I could place in box in column 3, look now, because it can't go there. Yeah, no, I thought I'd made a mistake then, but no, that's fine. So this digit at the top can only be 1 or 2, because we need to place 1, 2, 3 and 4 in the column, and the 4 can only go at the bottom, so that's got to be a 4, which gives me a 4 here as well. So 4s might be the next place to look. 4 is in one of those two cells. Or not. Or not, it seems. Is there something I've not... I feel like there must be something I haven't pencil marked here. I don't understand how I'm going to resolve the middle bits of this grid. Is it somehow Sudoku? 1s, 2s, 3s and 6s. What is it? 4s? Can I do more with 4 somehow? I don't think I can. I've got a horrible feeling that there's something staring me in the face here. Let's try and do something with 3s. There is a 3 in one of those two cells I can see, and that means in the bottom row there must be a 3 over here. Now I can do a bit better than that. One of those two cells is a 3 in box 6 because this one isn't. So there's a 3 in one of these two, which means that cell is not a 3. So this is a 1 or a 2. And if you're thinking that's totally useless, you probably would be right. There's whoopsie. There's a corner pencil mark 3 in one of these two cells. There's got to be a... I'm not sure where to look. Let's try this column. I need 1s, 2s, 3s and a 6. So that is 1, 2 or 6. Is that really useful? Don't think so. That one is 1, 3 or 6. Oh, there you go, it's that 4. I was wondering how on earth this was going to unwind, but I've just seen that 4 is looking at this cell, so that's going to give me some joy in the middle of the grid. That becomes a 6, that becomes a 5, that becomes a 4, that becomes a 4. Aha. So I've now done all the 4s right. Let's see whether that improved matters in the world. Yeah, well, it might do a little bit. 5 I can see in this box seems to have to be in one of those two positions, which means 5 is in one of these two positions. Let's just double click our 5s again. See if we can do any better than that. These squares are very restricted. They've got to be 3 and 5. Oh, that's it. That's it. That's how to do it. Look, that cell is a 3 or a 5, but there's a 3 looking at it from one of those two squares. So that's a 5, which gives me a 5 in the corner. No song for you, but you're still a very welcome guest in this Sudoku. That's a 5. That's a 5. That's I want to say it's all the 5s done. I think it is. Okay. So we've done very well with 4s. We've done very well with 5s. So it must be 6s next, he says, hoping. Well, that's... Or maybe it's not, because I've just realised that digit's a 3 by just completing this row. In fact, let's check those 2 squares then. They've got to be 2 and 6. Oh yeah, 2 and 6. So that's got to be 6 on this side because of this 6. So that's got to be 2. That's got to be 1. So this is a 3-6 pair, and we can see where the 3 goes. So that's 3, 6 in the corner. This is a naked single 2. That's a 6 up there. Okay, so that must be a 1, that must be a 2, that must be a 3, that must be a 1. 3, 2, 1. That's not... Well, that must be the 1 in this box. So this is a 2-3 pair. Probably resolved somehow, but I can't see how. Right, this square can't be a 1, so that must be 1, that must be 3, that must be 2, that must be 3. I need a 2 and a 6, which is 6 there, 2 there. What a beautiful puzzle. Yay. Loved it. I mean, wasn't that clever? It's classic art, this. It's sort of, you read the rules and think, well, that doesn't sound too bad. Indeed, the magic square part of it was really very straightforward, because I've done magic squares before. But the logic around these diamonds is weird and wonderful. The given 1-3, that let us do some 1-3ing, didn't it? And then Sudoku sort of narrowed this one down. Yes, it was this 1-6 here that gave us a 2 on green, and that was useful. But actually, I think the hard bit was, for me at least, was thinking about the yellow line and realising that 7, yes, realising 7 down here had to be on the yellow line, and that forced every digit to be on a line, and that allowed us to do some work with row 5 and column 5 to sort of work out how the lines worked. It's really brilliant. It's just lovely, frankly. It's a lovely puzzle. And I look forward to the comments. I do enjoy them, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.